I'm here at the Holocaust LA Museum with none other than Montana Tucker, and we're here to talk about her incredible series,
How to Never Forget. Hi guys, sorry that I'm crying right now.
For the people who don't know you, let's first start there. Give us a little backstory of who Montana is and how the world came to know her on social media.
Yes, so I started modeling, acting, dancing when I was about 8 years old down in Florida. So started singing and performing, and I kind of got into social media a little bit later than most. Was doing it the traditional route first, and then I kind of got thrown into this crazy social media world, and I'm so incredibly grateful for it because it's changed my life, honestly, forever. Usually you guys see me posting really fun dance videos where I'm always smiling and dancing, and today I'm going to do something very, very, very different.
What's so impressive and so moving, I should say, is that most people don't use, which is a shame, their social media for a purpose.
Yes.
And you have. And I'm wondering, why was now the time that you said, I want to speak on this subject and I want to use my social media platform and following for good?
My content in general, even before I put out this series, I've always been very all-inclusive with my content. I've done videos with people of all walks of life, all races, all religions. I've done a lot of anti-bullying videos, a lot of body image videos. So I've tried in my videos, in my content before even this series, to really show all inclusivity and promote that. And then with this series, I've been extremely close to my grandparents my entire life. And my Zadie passed away at 97. My Zadie is my grandpa, 3 years ago. And after he passed, I kind of became more and more invested in their stories. I heard all of their stories growing up as a child, but it wasn't until I got a bit older that I became a little bit more invested in learning. And I watched their testimonials, and I was like, I need to do something with this. And I have a friend, Israel Schachter, that asked me, have you ever been to Poland? And I was like, no, I've always wanted to go, but I've never been. And he's like, I'm gonna make it happen. So with a lot of different talks, we ended up bringing a film crew to Poland. This was in about June, I want to say, that we went there, before everything started happening in the media, which is so incredibly unfortunate and just incredibly crazy timing. And we brought a film crew there. And again, I don't know if you've ever been to Poland or ever been to any of the camps, but nothing can prepare you for it. You can go to all the museums, you can watch all the documentaries, hear the stories, but nothing can prepare you for that moment that you're physically there. Nothing.
What do you feel in a place like this?
I'm like emotional because I know my grandparents had stories where they saw, their friends and family get killed right in front of them.
Talk about the emotion. I mean, from the moment that you got there, you brought your mother with you.
Yes.
It was, from what we could see, a very emotional moment from start to finish, 10 episodes. Can you tell us put words to that emotion?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have imagined going on that trip without my mom. My whole life, I've been extremely close to my mom, and my mom was extremely close to her mom, which is my grandma Lily, who we discuss her stories in the docuseries. And so going there with her, I think, was even more powerful than I could have imagined. Again, nothing can prepare you for those moments of standing there. And when I stood in the spot that my grandma last saw her mother, to stand there with my mother was just extremely depressing, but also extremely powerful in a sense. I think the whole, time being there, it's like we learned about the Nazis and what they did, and of course their whole mission was to erase all the Jewish people and to erase it wasn't just Jewish people, and that's something I also want to include. It was people with disabilities, people of color, anyone, gypsies, anyone who was different than what the Nazis imagined to be the mold. And they wanted to erase all these people forever. And so I thought it was extremely powerful that they're not erased. We're honoring them by being there. And now I'm sharing this docuseries with my millions of followers. That's something the Nazis could have never even imagined. I want everyone to know this story because this story is my story, but now it belongs to you too, and we have to keep telling it.
for the viewers, what will they see? I know that you talk about it wasn't just Jewish people, who suffered at the hands of Nazis, and you even tell a story of a family, a Polish family, I believe. What else will they see as they watch this 10 episodes?
It's very different than any Holocaust documentary or educational piece that's ever been out there. It was made solely for social media. Nowadays, we know everyone's attention spans, they're just scrolling all day and all night, and kids and Gen Z and the younger generation, they're focusing all of their time and energy into social media. And I said, okay, if they have the option to scroll past this video, I need to grab their attention. What can I do to grab their attention? So we knew that they weren't going to sit there and watch a 5-minute video. So we said, okay, let's do these like 2-minute snippets that they can send to their friends. It's an easy watch. They can watch whenever they have a chance, whenever they have 2 minutes out of their day, and they can share it easily. So that's kind of why we chose that format. But it was so hard to get everything we wanted to get in. Trust me, there were so many other powerful stories that we weren't able to share, and I'm hoping to release a full length one day. But I did want to also really highlight the people that weren't Jewish that really risked their lives for other people. That's why we dedicated a whole episode to the different Polish people that really risked their lives. And I think it's an important message for what's going on in the world now, that just because it doesn't have to do with you doesn't mean you shouldn't stand up and say something. And when it comes to any race or religion or issue that's going on in our world, and we have many, unfortunately, just because it doesn't have to do with you doesn't mean you shouldn't say anything and stand up for it.
Absolutely. What has the response been like from your following, from people outside of your following who maybe have watched you talk about this on an interview? Maybe it was shared with them from someone who does follow you. What's that response been like?
To be honest, 90% of it was so incredibly amazing. I couldn't have imagined it. I mean, from the Jewish community in general, saying that like I was so ashamed to be Jewish, and now you've made me proud, and thank you so much for speaking up and saying something. I've had mothers saying they're watching it with their mothers and their children. I've had it reach all generations, which I think is so powerful.
Yeah.
And then I've also had non-Jewish people saying, I never knew this. Thank you so much for educating me. Because for me, I wanted to just educate. I'm not trying to sit here and say, I'm going to change your mind, or you should not think this. Everyone has the right to think what they want.
Yeah.
But some people just aren't educated about it and just genuinely don't know. I mean, the statistics of people that don't know the Holocaust existed, or don't know about the Holocaust, or don't know what Auschwitz is, kids aren't even being taught it in school. It's not even a law in many states. So the fact that, okay, if I have the kids' attention, if they follow me, like maybe they can learn something from me. And that's what's happened, which has been amazing, but there has been the side that has been a negative, unfortunately, as well.
As sad as it is and as terrible it is, we need to really remind people that this can never happen ever again.
In one of your episodes that talks about millennials either not knowing
Yes.
or not believing that the Holocaust existed. And so I think learning history, having this in our education, talking about it on social media, having these conversations with friends and family really highlights the importance of what you're doing and the necessity of it all. Tell everyone where they can watch How to Never Forget.
Yes. Please, if you can watch How to Never Forget on my Instagram and TikTok. It's a 10-part series, only takes 2 minutes, around 2 minutes for each episode, at Montana Tucker. Thank you guys.